Hello everyone, Emerald Ghost here, and welcome back to Let's Play Luigi's Mansion. In the last episode, we found Mario's final item, which was his star. And in this episode, we are going to turn it into Madame Clairvoyant and see what transpires after that. Also, my capture card came with the default setting on of the game volume would reduce every time I talked, so whenever you heard like a spike in volume when I stopped talking for a few seconds, that's why. However, this time I actually shut that off because I don't want the volume to keep going down when I'm talking because then you can barely hear it. Because this game has some really good sound to it, and I wanted to be able to hear that. However, if it does turn out that it drowns out my commentary, I will go back to that setting in the next episode. But hopefully that's not the case. What is this object you have here? Show it, please, to Madame Clairvoyant. What is this? If it isn't Mario's star, what otherworldly beauty? Oh, they come. Now the spirits come. Come, spirits of power. Come, spirits of sight. Show to me the awful things occurring here tonight. Crystal orb, symbol of my clan. Use your darkling power to show us all you could. I mean can. Show us all you can. Show us this Mario. The light of the spirits comes. Show us what we seek. Ah, the spirits return to me. I see your dear Mario. The scene appears before me. What is this? Bowser? How can this be? I see the hideous form of Bowser. Is Bowser somewhere in this mansion? I cannot believe it. And yet I see it. I thought that Mario had soundly defeated Bowser. Has King Boo somehow revived Bowser? This could be horrible. Well, for you. Ugh, no, the powers leave me, the spirits depart. This is all I can show you, Luigi. That was the last of my power. But I have given words to what the spirits have shown, so I can return to my painting satisfied. Send me there now, you vacuum-wielding rogue. Ah, finally, I can return in peace to my painting. Sweet happiness in oils. I thank you, kind Luigi. Yes, the one ghost who's actually not going to fight us, even though it does look like she is struggling a bit, which I always found confusing. How she said she wants to go in her painting and she's still fighting us. But she is one of the easiest portrait ghosts in the game to vacuum up, and I suppose that is, you know, or fitting, thematically accurate, I suppose, since, you know, she said she wants to go back into her painting. Which, Madame Clairvoyant is one of my favorite portrait ghosts in the game. I think it's just a really neat idea to have a ghost in the mansion who actually helps you out. But there's not really any explanation for it, which just makes it all the more mysterious. And yes, we can finally access the third floor. However, before we do that, we will first... Hi, I'm Luigi. I mean, Boo-Luigi. Well, there can be only one. And actually, I'm going to go back to Chauncey's room, or the nursery. Well done, Luigi, my boy. This time I have a special bit of information for you. You know about elements, right? Anybody will tell you they form a triangular relationship, which is to say water beats fire, fire beats ice, and ice beats water. Hehehe, get me? Okay, now send me the boo and all the data you got. Well, I'm sure glad you're here to tell me these things over and over again. Anyway, what I was saying is I'm going to go to the nursery and get, a Mega Heart. Sorry if my commentary is off today. I am slightly congested, which is making talking extensively a bit more difficult. And anyway, what I hadn't actually talked about what Madame Clairvoyant had said to us, and this time she actually did provide us useful information. And she is correct that Bowser is actually somewhere in this mansion, in a manner of speaking, which you'll see what I mean later. But if Bowser is here, that does make things a whole lot scarier for us. But hold on, I'm gonna move my mic up a bit closer to me. Hopefully I pick up better now. I also feel like I should be talking a bit more loudly, just because I am worried about getting drowned out. And what is that? Okay. I think that was like a smoke alarm or an alarm of some sort, but they just randomly go off now and then. Anyway, now nowhere left to go but the 3rd floor. And we will see what is up there. I suppose there's no harm in arming ourselves here. Because actually, if I remember correctly, the next room we go in, ice is actually quite useful. Because we haven't seen them yet, but there's actually a ghost that is only weak to ice. We've seen the ones that are weak to water and weak to fire. But there is a water ghost that is weak to ice in the next room. First, take care of these bats. Nothing in there. This is a fake door, be careful of that. And now we can progress in here, and we are going to now be in the safari room, which there is no portrait ghost in here. I believe we have to vacuum on these deer heads in order to activate the ghosts, but however, before we do that, there is cheese over here, which, as you know, will reveal a gold mouse, which will give us some good stuff if we can catch it. Yes, and we did, and oh, this one only has gold coins. I suppose this one was not quite imperative, but yeah, we just vacuum on the deer heads, and here we have Blue Blaze, which, ouch. This is actually interesting because we haven't actually met the normal form of this ghost yet. Which, these are actually the most difficult out of the non-portrait ghosts in the game. And the normal form is called Blue Twirler, which is funny because we meet the gold ghosts and the purple puncher before we meet their elemental counterparts, but we haven't actually met the Blue Twirlers yet before we meet Blue Blaze, and Blue Blaze is the only name of the 3 elemental versions of the main 3 ghosts in the game, because I would consider gold ghosts, purple punchers, and blue twirlers to be like the 3 primary types of ghosts in the game, as they are shown on the cover, even though blue twirlers don't show up until later. And yes, we have garbage can ghosts, though, which are not that big a deal. They do have more HP than blue twirlers and blue blazes, but they're not as strong. I haven't been vacuuming on these guys because they actually put up quite a good fight, and it's actually semi-difficult to vacuum them up in one shot, whereas these guys go down pretty easy. Unless you do that. At least I didn't slip on it. That would have not been good. But I believe these 2 are the last 2. Otherwise, there probably would have been too much, unless they're not triggered until after we take out one of these guys. But nope, I'm not seeing anyone else, so it's just you. And yep, I can't remember what's next. Or do we go to the boss next? Is the boss of area? Yeah, the boss of Area 3 is the next ghost that we have to fight, and we have enough time to do it now, right? Oh yeah. So yes, we are about to take on the boss of Area 3. Who, actual Boo is in the top boxes, top shelf. Little Boo Peep, lost sheep. No, please. God damn it, okay. Well, anyway, yes, as you can see, we are now in the attic. This is the, I don't know if this is the attic, actually. The attic is, like, supposed to be on the 3rd floor. Is the 3rd floor? Ah, never mind, I don't know what I'm saying. Yowzer, you got another one. You're cruising, Luigi. Okay, now send me the boo and all the data you've got. Well, thank you for not telling me something that we've already heard. But yeah, oh, almost forgot. There's actually another Mega Heart in this room, and that is in here. And yes, as I have said before, the boss ghost of Area 3 is what I consider to be the, oh gosh, is what I consider to be the scariest ghost in the game, even more so than King Boo. I also consider this to probably be the hardest boss fight in the game, even more so than the boss of Area 4. But anyway, in terms of spooks, this is definitely the one you want to watch out for, because walk out through the door, and you'll immediately notice something off. Something unusual, I should say. And that is, when you walk out here, you will find yourself on the balcony, and your boo radar will immediately start flashing red, even though there are no boos around, so it's kind of strange. And you go over here, and you see a whole ring of boos. So if you want, you can just ignore them, walk over here, and you see the door to Area 4, which we cannot access because we have to find all of these boos first. And if you feel like counting them, you will see there are 15, and they do actually all count towards the boo total, so this boss will actually count as 15 boos separately. So that does very much speed up our boo catching progress. That scaredy cat Luigi has made it this far. Oh, we're so frightened. I guess it's our turn, then. Alright, boos, let's assume our real form. But first, how about giving him a little scare? And yes, the boss of Area 3 is Boolossus, who I consider to be the most unnerving in terms of the introduction to his boss fight, and also the most difficult. And the most difficult boss we have to do is just vacuum on him at first. See, excuse me. Yeah, all he'll do at first is just bounce towards you, which you can defend by, grabbing him with the vacuum, and then you want to drag him over to the horn of the unicorn ice sculptures, and then he'll break apart, and that is your chance to, grab as many boos as you can. There are 15 total, and we got a good number, which, yeah, okay. As you can see, he's now smaller, and this battle might not look that tough. You might be wondering why I consider this to be the hardest boss in the game, and that's because the smaller boos aren't always such pushovers. Like, they start out really easy because they're not even trying to avoid you. That is not always the case. Like, as you can see now, they are both trying to escape us as well as trying to attack us, and they will just simply do that with more and more rigor, however many you take down. And once you get to the last one, the notorious last boo of Boolossus is very, honestly, more difficult than the other 14 combined, probably. Although once you get to 2, then they're both fairly tough, so I'm not trying to say that exactly. But there are 4 left, right? So, yeah. Okay, I suppose I should come here. Okay, yeah. You want to try, if you can, you want to try and, fire Ice Blasts, because that takes care of your lack of range towards them, see? Okay, now there are 2 left. It will still form into a boo that appears to be more than twice the size of each of them, so I guess their power really does increase in numbers. But, yep, damn it, okay. And, yep, now he's not going to reform into any other number. Okay. I take back what I said about him being the hardest boss in the game, honestly. That was way easier than I remember. I always remember having a lot more trouble with him, as well as, seeing every other Let's Player having trouble with him when I watched Let's Plays of this game. Of which I have seen quite a few. My first Let's Play I've ever watched, as I said in episode 1, was actually a Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion, which... hold on. Luigi... Luigi, can you hear me? Oh, what a relief. That white mist interrupted your signal. You seem to have done some serious work there. Why don't you come on back to the lab? We can have dinner while we gaze at these ghost paintings. Tonight I'll make an old family recipe. Pickled dandelions with barnacles in a diesel marinade. That sounds delicious. But anyway, yes, the first Let's Play I ever saw was Zelda Savior 31's Let's Play of Luigi's Mansion, which, unfortunately, he hasn't uploaded in quite a few years, I don't think. It's been at least like 2, 3, I think, unfortunately. He was always a smaller Let's Player, like he only had a couple thousand subs, but I followed quite a few Let's Players like that, actually. Good job, Luigi, you made it back in one piece. Looks like you've got a vacuum full of ghosts there. What do you say we put them through the old ghost petrificationizer? But yeah, I've seen, let's see, how many Let's Plays of this game have I seen? I've seen Zelda Savior 31's, I've seen Koopa Kung Fu's, I've seen Sugar Conroy's. Is that it? I think that might be it, actually. I haven't seen that many Let's Plays of this game, I suppose. I've seen, like, everyone's Super Mario 64 Let's Play, though. The ghosts are invisible, so we need to press them into visible forms. And presto, turn them into beautiful ghost portraits. Oh, we got a gold on Boolossus. How rare is that? I feel like that's quite an accomplishment. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I was actually planning on Let's Playing Super Mario 64 first, but my N64 was acting up and just wasn't working, so I just couldn't do that, unfortunately. Which is really sad, so, I mean, I definitely plan on Let's Playing it at some point in the future. But that's probably not going to be for a while now. Well, we managed to turn those ghosts back into paintings. Thanks for your help, Luigi. Now you've caught Madame Clairvoya, Biff Atlas, Nana, Miss Petunia, Slim Bankshot, Henry and Orville, and Boolossus, and we got golds on everyone except for Biff Atlas and Slim Bankshot, unfortunately. You've caught a total of 16 ghosts. Alright, how much treasure do we have now? You need 100 million G. I think I've said this already. You need 100 million G for the best ranking, which we should be pretty close to that by now, right? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you're probably thinking, well, we only have one area, so how are we going to get over 60 million G in just one area? But what you forget is we actually have two, as I hinted at before, or I didn't hint at it, I explicitly said it. Damn it, sorry. There are 2 gold diamonds in the game, which are the most valuable type of currency. Each are worth 40 million G. Where will you go, Luigi? We'll go to the mansion, and I think for the rest of the episode I'll just water plants, because there are a few plants that we haven't accessed yet. I'm sure you saw a few on the balcony, so I will water... First I'll water that big one that was in the boneyard. And then I will... Well, first I actually need to get water. But as you can see, our boo total has dramatically increased. So now I can just go in here. I will... This place really looks nice, like, honestly. I really love the architecture of this room. I'm not a big architecture buff, and for all I know, someone who's, like, you know, studied architecture at a university would be like, no, the architecture here is terrible. But, of course, I'm not the type of person who will abdicate to expertise when it comes to my own personal tastes. I love the architecture here, and that's not going to be swayed by any expert opinion. But anyway, you come in here and this plant is now closed, water it a bunch, and it will now explode and we get the first of our gold diamonds. I'm trying to get everything else first because the gold diamond won't disappear. And yes, that is the single most valuable type of currency in the game. There is one other, so we're already over 2/3 of the way towards getting the gold ring just from where we were at in Area 3. Or, no, we're not over 2/3, because we needed over 60 million G, and we got 40 million, so just under 2/3. And now I will go water the plants on the balcony, and then I'll call it an episode. The other... no, I'm not going to say that, actually. I was going to say how we get the other gold diamond, which I may have already said, before and just forgotten about, but just in case I didn't, I'm not going to say it right now. But I will go water plants in the balcony, and that'll be an episode. And then in the next episode, we will continue on to Area 4, which is when things really heat up. I know I've said Boolossus is the scariest ghost in the game, and, you know, considering just single ghosts, I will stand by that, but overall, there's something about Area 4 that makes it the most unnerving area in the game, which is fitting considering it's the final area in the game. I would say that should be how it should be, or I suppose that was redundant. It should be the way it is. But yes, we'll go counterclockwise, I suppose. That way we'll end right at the door to Area 4. But there's a bunch of plants in here, so... And we get an emerald, which might not be the most valuable gem in the game, but it is my favorite. Gold bar, which I've said, gold bars just look really nice in general. A ruby, which rubies are actually really pretty in this game as well. Or wait. That's not a ruby, I think that's a red diamond if I recall correctly, and I believe red diamonds are actually, yeah, that's not a ruby, that's a red diamond, and red diamonds are actually only worth the price of 1 gold coin, so, you know, it looks like you're getting a new valuable gem, but no, it's a troll, they're trolling you. Excuse me. Okay, and what's in here? Other emerald, thank you. 7 emeralds, nice. I just ignore the heart because I don't need it. Oh, didn't see this one right away. Not that it would have really mattered if I did. I doubt my success or failure in achieving S rank would have been decided by those few gold coins. And, oh, and one more in the corner. I suppose I should have anticipated that. And I used a lot of water there, I just barely had enough. And in the next episode, we will move on to Area 4. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Ciao!